Sometimes it's lupus.
It's never lupus until it is.
Exactly.
Bullseye tick bite. Come on, that's lupus.
Oh, look at our police presence.
There you go.
Ew.
I feel
All right.
intimidated.
Bring the order.
What the hell?
City council meeting dated 4/20/1986. Um, first order of business for the council, or at least for me to inform the people, is that we do have an open seat from Warren's seat that we will be filling today. I'll leave it up to the council if they want to fill Kat's seat. I'm not putting forth that myself as kind of a tribute.
You get
to
up
her.
there.
No, you get up there.
Her seat would be ending in a
Pass.
week after this, so.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll leave that to the council to decide
Go up
whether
there,
they
Andy.
fill that seat or not. I will.
Fix the seat. Come on,
Yeah,
do it.
I think it's important taste to do it right now.
Well,
Correct.
let's see if we can fill Warren's seat first.
Even
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I don't.
What
I
about
mean,
you,
look
Jim?
For
out there.
Warren's seat, we can discuss it further, but Warren's seat would be is a full term, excluding 2 weeks. So that's why
Right.
I'm okay with filling that one. Kat's term was going to end in 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah, let Kat's term finish.
So given that, I don't really have much for the council right now. So any council member wants to address the people, please come to the podium and you can have the floor.
I would like to start. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, you want to start?
Oh, go for it, Smokey.
Okay.
Yeah, Adam, my boy. I don't think Angelica's coming back.
Councilman Adam Smokey. As far as legislation or anything substantive this week, I do not have anything. I just would like to take a moment and express my sincere condolences to every person in this room and city who held Kat as a friend, as a mentor, as a healing light in the city. She was somebody that we could count on. She gave me my first opportunity in the city when I moved in as a EMS with no training or experience whatsoever. She was fully willing to teach me on the job, and it's a major loss for this city, and that's the only thing I would like to express today.
I appreciate that. All right. Who wants to go next?
Not me. I have nothing.
Did you have stuff,
Me?
Casey?
Yes, it's you.
God damn
Yeah,
it.
let's go, Casey.
It's all right, man. You stand behind your chair and finish your cigarette.
I think I'll just sit here because yes.
You get this, Casey.
You
Mr.
get it,
Mayor?
Snookums.
Councilwoman.
Fellow council people.
You might want to
I-
speak up just a little bit.
Yes, thank Mr. Mayor, fellow city people, city council people. I have 3 different things I would like to just bring to the table today for our discussion. One being, well, I don't think I'll get any answers, but I would just like to motion for a status report on the airplane program, the flight program. I've had a couple people inquire about it, and I agreed to just bring it to the table to see where we are on that.
All right. Well, I can give you the update of what the council has worked on in the judiciary. It's talked about. So currently, the only bill that's been present was Billy Falco's bill. That bill got to the Chief Justice's hands. The Chief Justice read it, approved of its last revision. That bill's last revision was not presented to the council. So Billy would either need to get the required signatures that the Constitution requires, or have a council member and lobby with the council member to have a council member bring the bill to the floor for a vote. If the people that are asking would like to view that bill, I can get the bill into your hands and you could show or talk to the citizenry about it. But that's the current status of the flight school in the city.
Yes, sir. I would like to request it. I can get that in my hands.
Yeah, we can get you access to that.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can do that after the meeting.
All right.
You said you had two more issues.
I have more, but if you want me to move forward with my next one.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can get you the paperwork for that one.
Yeah.
I don't know what your other request is. I didn't catch it. Sorry.
No, that was it for that one.
Okay, perfect.
My other inquiry is about zoning and traffic laws. I have had several incidents myself and other citizens come to me and complain about this situation, about the meters, about like just some confusion in some of the areas in the city that kind of seem suspect, and it could go either way.
Either way, what do you mean by either way? Elaborate, please.
There is a meter, but there is also a red zone. Now that red zone also is a question. It could be a zone for, emergency, or it could be a zone for loading. It could go either way. That's not, that is also questionable. But the fact is, the meter is there in a red zone. So which takes precedence?
So do you want, well, rather, is there anyone from High Command of the Sheriff's Department that could speak to that? Willing to come to the podium and answer that question?
I think the
Really?
attorney general can speak to that.
All right. Well, if the AG would like to, I like the outfit. Why don't you come to the podium there, AG, looking like you're going on vacation.
Attorney General Ashley Williams. So a good rule of thumb is just follow. I would go with the biggest signaling that you can find, which is usually the red curb. That's what we would follow off of that. Loading zones will, if they're red and they're meant for loading, they will be marked loading zone. I've seen these up north. What the hell is?
Did you bring your pussycat?
Whose cat is that?
Why is there?
That's Dr. Cat.
It's
I'm
Dr.
sorry?
Cat
No, I'm
McCaskill.
not kidding.
It's
That's,
not
oh, it's Dr.
Cat.
Sorry, it's Dr.
Dr.
McCaskill.
Haskell.
Yeah, it's Dr.
It's-
McCaskill.
It's Dr. Cat McCaskill. In honor of the
My
lovely
lord.
Phantom
Have we all
wanted to
gone
get-
insane? That is
Just
never
a
mind.
little bit.
Well,
Yeah.
No, that's the cat's name.
I'm compelled to allow it only because it's homage to cat. Anyways, let's continue. Please keep the cat down while we're talking about this. Go ahead, AG. You have the floor.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I'm a little. Okay, hold on. I'm back now.
Are you allergic to
So-
cats?
I don't know. So what I would always err on the side of is just following the. If you see red, probably don't park there. And by probably don't park there. City infrastructure is such that it does change rapidly, and you can basically say that the city might not have removed the parking meters there, and it's intending on it having that being removed. There may have been bags on it, out of order signs, things of that nature. I would follow the curb as a good rule of thumb. That's how I would handle it moving forward.
Well, if there's no red and there's no meter, but it's a metered zone, does that still imply that there should be a meter that's paid? You shouldn't park there
Well, you said there's no red, no meter.
in a metered zone.
So that would be something like if we had actual like what was it, like parking permit zones, you know what I mean, like other cities have, but we don't have that at all. If you see no obstruction on the sidewalk, and it's just a white white curb and you're not like in an intersection that's going to be parking or going over a crosswalk, you're generally pretty safe to park there. I would say that you got to use some common sense with things. And if there's a air on the side of, well, it looks like I probably shouldn't park here, so don't.
And the language is taught to the lawmen that or the police people that's written so it's not up to the person on the scene or the sheriff on the scene. So the
Everything-
next person that would come by and see the same spot would not be towing that person, whereas the sheriff that saw that the next time would read it and say, "Oh, okay, well, we're not going to tow this person."
That I can't speak to, but every report that I've read, I have agreed with, and I will stand by in court.
All right, Councilwoman, I don't know if that answers your question. Does that answer your question?
So I guess my issue is that that it hasn't been an issue before this, and that there was like no
Yeah, I've seen so many people park there with no issue.
like no announcement statement issuing, that this was going to be.
Is she barking at us?
Are you saying one of the issues is that you feel like there was no notice about the change?
Yeah, there's just no
to the
like
meters?
public notice about it because it's never been an issue before. And then
Did someone let their dog out?
Cats and dogs everywhere.
Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria.
I'm sorry.
Your cat might be in
And
trouble.
that's my issue, that it just kind of like fell upon us without any kind of public statement. The rules lined out saying like this is how it is.
Well, to challenge that a little bit, like if you see a red zone, would you park there?
Like I stated before, but like there's a parking meter there as well.
Okay, how about like a fire hydrant? Would you park in front of that?
No.
So it seems like a restatement of the rules. Well, you know what the
But
rules
I
are.
paid for the parking to be there.
So I'm not going to discuss.
And the city.
I'm not discussing that specific scenario. What
I'm just
happened
saying,
there?
all I'm saying is that it's confusing and that that's just being.
Sure, and if there is a problem, we should go to court and we should have the justice basically rule on it.
All
like
I'm
I said-
asking is for like some sort of like zoning issues to be addressed or looked over. That's all I'm asking.
Well, I think we need to view this in the lens of the interpretation of what the sheriff's department is going to do when they view a car in a questionable spot, right? That's what we can handle here. The rest of the stuff is we can't really handle on the floor here. So for that one, I think we got clear directive of what the sheriff's department does when it views or what it uses as criteria, right? The red line would be, or the red curb would be the deciding factor, easily seen for that particular instance, right? And from my understanding, at the end of the day, that this issue would ultimately go to traffic court if it were challenged. But I think from what the AG is saying, we could go off of that. You can go off of that.
I mean, but also like, when and all of a sudden are the parking meters being like, look, I'm just saying like there are things that are happening instead of just implementing them without letting everybody know that there should be a public statement. That's it.
Okay. So you're just requesting that they inform
I agree.
the public to any changes
Yes.
that may affect.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead, it just seems yeah. Because then we can all just let us know. We can all work together and do the same instead of like having to find where your car is without knowing why.
That's understandable. I think those aren't unreasonable requests. I don't know if anyone can speak to their opinion on the sheriff's department, but it doesn't sound unreasonable. So moving forward, I think that's a good idea. Obviously the record will show the statements. And it seems like we have a sheriff's department deputy in the line, so maybe we can speak to that once he gets to them.
Looked like Banner was next.
Yeah, Banner is next.
Yeah, I'll wait my turn.
All right, Mr. Banner.
Good evening, City Council and Mr. Mayor. Hope everybody is having a great day. It's been a interesting one for me. I'm having a day. Okay, so as far as parking situation, I guess most of that would have to be referred to the DOT. I know I've seen them driving around recently, so there's someone behind this. But in a zone where general cities would see where there's a red markings, but then they go ahead and put meters and markings on the street to clear parking thereof. Generally, since the street markings and the meter have to be maintained, you would believe that the inference would be that that is the more up to date than the curb painting. So
We can argue this in court, but I don't think this is the.
I'm just wondering if council would have any clarification to this.
I'd imagine not. The council's trying to seek clarification on the current status of the operation of the parking in the city. So, I mean, we're pretty much defaulting back to like the AG is saying. The police will ticket those that they think are, at fault, and those
Take
people
the
that are at
tickets
fault
to
that believe
court.
that they're not, they'll go to traffic court and they'll have their day in court.
No, absolutely. Just wanting to maintain that. Now, the city regulations on ticketing and towing, you would have to have received tickets prior being towed, correct?
This is something for the sheriff's department to answer. I'm the mayor. I'm not a AG nor the DA nor the sheriff. So if the AG would like to speak to that, yeah, if you're directing that question to the AG,
I'm just anybody within the city that would oversee this. Again, like I said, as of not even 4 days ago, I know there is some point of a Department of Transportation, but I don't know who's in control of that, where to direct these questions, and that's why I'm asking here at the council.
Oh, not to my knowledge about the Department of Transportation. I have no idea.
No, there's definitely trucks for them now. I don't know. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, Sheriff.
Evening, counselors and fellow citizens of the state of San Andreas. In answer to the questions of
Sorry, who are you?
guys, fair enough, fair enough. I am Sergeant Reese Newendike of the Los Santos Sheriff's Department. And in response to the question of why so much now, there's certainly been an effort in the last couple of weeks. Oh my goodness. Sorry, interrupted by a cat again. Anyways, an increase in the last couple of weeks of our efforts to actually enforce parking laws, and that is why there is a sudden uptick in incidents and complaints. Now, the law itself is not new. We've had an unauthorized parking law in the books for, since before I was a deputy, even. So, the fact that it hasn't been as strictly enforced as it has until now is neither here nor there. We've noticed an uptick in incidents of vehicles being parked illegally, abandoned in the middle of the road, And most certainly parking in the red zones. And quite simply, much like stoplights and stop signs, red means no. Don't park in the red zone, period. That will be ticketed, it will be towed. Standard fees have been set by the Attorney General's office, and we are following those going forward. As for, let's call it education, we could certainly put together some sort of PSA notices along those lines to make it a little clearer for those who are otherwise confused as to what red means. Other than that, I'd say we're just enforcing the laws as written, and we're doing a damn fine good job of it, if I say so myself.
Do you feel that you said you're a sergeant?
Yes, sir.
Do you feel that you apply that your fellow deputies apply the law across the board to the citizenry evenly?
Yes, sir.
Nope.
Well, if you have a question for the deputy, you can ask him a question. I want to get his feeling on whether he feels that his other deputies operate the same.
Yeah, to the best of my knowledge, they are following the same guidelines that we are all following. And I got my lieutenant here to my left, Hightower. If he had anything else to add there, he's more than welcome to, and he can also tell me to shut up right now. So, okay, here he comes to tell me to shut up. I guess.
Yep, I think that's the silent shut up.
Go.
No, no, say what you need to. I could be wrong on this. I'm trying to look at this. Sorry, to speak up. I'm trying to.
Sorry, who?
I'm sorry, Lieutenant Isaac Hightower. I may be wrong about this, but I'm trying to look at this from all angles. Where exactly does it say that red means don't go there? You know, where's our legislation for any parking laws on any of this? So I see where Casey's coming from. Like no one knows anything. But maybe AG can clear that up. But looking
Where
over
the
the
laws that
Constitution,
say you have to stop at a stoplight.
exactly. Where are they? Is you could say it's common sense, but we have our own Constitution here. I feel like this is something that may have to be defined. But I mean, like I said,
would it be defined in there instead of the Constitution?
all we have is unauthorized parking, which is non-designated zone. What's to say what's designated and what's not? So I just feel like maybe this could be cleared up a little bit, but like I said, I don't know everything. I'm just looking at this from all angles. I can see this from the people's point of view, and I can see this from my fellow officers' point of view.
Oh, where do you feel the clarification should happen in the penal code or in the Constitution?
The Constitution.
All right.
Yeah, we don't have a failure to pay parking meters. We don't have well, maybe not that one, but yeah.
Well, do you have a failure to pay fines?
Yeah.
That would
Also-
fall under that, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we could. That makes sense.
May I interject for a moment,
Yeah,
Lieutenant?
yeah, go for
could
it.
you?
I love this discussion.
Yeah, Lieutenant, could you quote me unauthorized parking in the penal code?
I would have to look at it, but I know it says.
Please do.
Please do. All right. Give me a second.
If it falls under that, then that's what it is, like the AG is saying.
Be right back.
No worries.
Point being,
I've got it here if you want.
Well, I
Yeah.
just have a question, actually.
Mhm.
You know, to the point of the parking meter versus the red curb. If you see a parking meter and a red curb and you see a car parked there and you know that there's an event going on, I mean, what is to stop people from the law enforcement from going in and saying there is somebody parked on a red curb, I'm going to tow your car if you do not move it? I mean, that is community outreach right there, and it's important for our law enforcement to also realize they're part of the community and they should be reaching out.
Yeah,
A fair point.
that's kind of my point. Like, just like I love the idea about the PSA. It has to be a point of like, yeah, we're a community, and like communication. Like we kind of feel like we're being
Target.
like trapped. Like, let's, so like, just give us a heads up.
So
Well, on the point of targeting, I could say that it is not the case. We are equally applying the law in instances where we find it being, bent or broken.
All right,
But
Lieutenant.
Reese, wouldn't you agree that they could have gone in and talked to the people?
Potentially.
Okay.
All right. We good?
Yeah, LT, you have the floor.
So it says no person shall park or abandon their vehicle in a non-designated zone. So what designates this as designated zone?
So, would you consider a red curb a place you can park your car?
Who's to say it's not?
Would you consider parking in front of a fire hydrant a place that you can park your car?
Quite the same thing. Who's to say that we can't? None of this is written in our constitution.
I think that I think that
You
if
just-
add
you
it
under-
in the penal code with that
Exactly.
stipulation, just that sentence, that defining what a designated zone is.
So basically, you're going to have us go through and for each law, we need to go through every specific circumstance behind it. And so you're asking us to not use common sense, but also just to go with like, hey, if it doesn't say it very specifically in this code, we're going to allow it.
Yeah.
No, I would say define that zone and then
Define
write it in
designated
such a
parking.
way and then finish and then write it in such a way that it would encompass the scenarios that would be in question.
Okay.
Or just the specifics on parking.
So how-
this you said it was not illegal parking. I forget the name of the penal code.
Unauthorized.
Non-designated parking.
Non-designated parking. And that would catch everything. And then you could classify the red zone, the not metered or metered not paid in that penal code line.
The middle of the road would be non-designated parking.
Well, that's not parking at all, right?
Well, I mean,
Exactly,
well,
but
you would
it's
imagine,
non-designated.
but
I'm just
Yeah.
saying that anything can be non-designated or designated.
And the difference is abandoning your car is specifically outlined.
it says park or abandon. It's
Correct.
covering both.
Also, just to follow up with your fire hydrant remark,
Wait,
how
hold on.
far
Let me. Is this a question of the lieutenant?
to the attorney general? I'm
Okay,
John
well, let's
Hudson,
let
by the way.
lieutenant finish first. And then...
Yeah, no problem.
Like I said, I think I'm about done. I think it just needs to be, stated because, like, for instance, you put a parking meter and parking lines next to a red spot. So who's to say that's not designated? Wouldn't. But yeah, I'm done.
I mean,
Just-
they might not have
just looking
washed
at this
the
all
red off.
angles.
That's the problem.
Appreciate that, LT.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up. Like, also, I'm John Hudson. I'm speaking to the AG here. You were saying something about parking in front of a fire hydrant. How far away from the fire hydrant would you want to park? Like, defining certain things is a part of the job. So you're asking us to not ask you to do your job is basically what I'm hearing. And I'm not trying to nitpick or anything. I'm just trying to, get a clear understanding.
You have a fair point. So most constitutions are written from scratch in most cities. I think we can all. These are not things that these articles of incorporation. These are things that are made by scratch, and to get into the very real and deep details into these things, I don't know of a single city who's done something like that. I mean, we can, if you want me to, yeah, I can go through and we can try to get all the exact and get down through, build case law and just make these things happen. Drill down to the details that we need to make this as perfect as we can. My problem is that is going to take, and if I'm going to cover everything, years of my life to do. So
You just do the parking meters.
But now, see, once this happens, though, this sets a precedent. Somebody comes in for assault. Well, it didn't say in the assault that I could hit somebody. I could hit him with a bat. Hit him with a bat. It's not in there.
Well, I believe that's actually in the difference between assault and battery in the penal code, right?
Okay,
Yeah,
what's a lethal weapon?
deadly weapon.
What's a deadly weapon?
That should be
Anything that
defined.
could cause bodily
Oh,
harm.
cool. It should be defined.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, it
Exactly,
should.
exactly something that should be cause bodily harm, and then great bodily harm could also be defined either
A
through
spoon could be
legislation
used
or
as a
case law.
deadly weapon.
Yes,
Excellent.
it could.
Okay,
Have
but
a
you guys
spoon
all
right
have
now.
amazing points. Amazing points.
I just wanted to. Yep, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
So in the spirit of not taking years and years of your life, the Attorney General, let's start with just the penal code, okay? And I know that you might think it's a multitude of things, but clearly the
Once you
LT
open the door,
I understand that. Trust me. As sitting in this seat for almost 8 months, I understand what could happen. The problem is there's a disconnect between what the people see and what the people are feeling. Even as LT stated, the ambiguity of the language and clearly the lack of definition of some very key words do require to be looked at. I'm not saying that it might not open up a can of worms, but at least we have to do something. I
okay,
think that's what's happening right now.
I can commit to then addressing this specific issue. It will be updated in the penal code. I will try to get it through the Chief Justice, and if he allows it, we'll see what happens.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I have one more thing, if it's
Yeah, that's fine. That was 2 things.
Does Mr. Bannerfox have an additional? It looks like he might want to say something on this issue still.
Robert Banner Fox, head of public defense. I would like to address this issue as far as in general statements, as Mr. Hudson was expressing what would be the distance for a fire hydrant. That's not really the situation that we're facing at this in this area that's being brought up. When this is completely separate from that, as there is no common sense basis when there is both red markings and meters in the same location. What is to judge what would be common sense to or not to park at that location?
The common sense thing would be we take it to court and the judge tells us what it is.
Well,
that's what it is.
But yet this is in front of, in various regards, at least in one case, I can tell of this being in front of a commonly used business, not obstructing the roadway. Really, very little reason for any red marking, yet it's there. And then the Department of Transportation also has meters and markings again on the road showing that these are parking spots.
I really don't want
Oh my God,
to
it's Vinny.
get into this deeply here at the council.
Mm.
I don't think this is the place.
No, but I'm just expressing why in certain situations it needs to be more of a discretionary call or needed in that sense when there are conflicting objects telling exactly 2 different otherwise, the city could be liable for suit for anybody that pays for a meter parked in a red zone.
By the way, how much are they paying for this meter?
I'm not
Alright,
sure, but
so-
Oh, you're not
collectively,
sure?
Hold
Oh,
on,
that's
hold
weird.
Hold on.
I don't go to these areas.
Stop. Vinny, Chief Justice, if you would like to speak,
Sir.
come to the podium.
No,
understand
I
just
hear you
arrived.
guys are doing
I've
good.
been here- No. I've been here this whole time listening to this conversation. If you want to have comments on, please come to the podium and speak to this. If not, I would like to move on from this subject.
He was gonna say a curse word.
Okay, you want to take a
I
deep breath
second
first?
that.
Because
I am taking a deep breath and allowing
okay,
you
brother,
to come
I
up and
understand the
speak.
stress that you're under. I do. Sorry. Please continue.
No, I just like I said to Banner, I don't feel like this is the place to dive into it. If you want to speak to the interpretation of what designated areas are in the penal code, I think that would clear a lot of stuff up. Considering the questions that are asked, and then if not, then obviously I would like to move the meeting forward because we're not
Please,
even
please go ahead.
through-
Move forward. We can talk about it after.
All right. So you said you had one more issue
Yes, I'm sorry.
to bring up. No, don't be sorry.
All right. This one involves, I guess, a question. What if the city council would be involved in motioning to have an election for a governor?
Well,
That's a good question.
currently there is
Chase for governor.
No.
Chase.
Yeah.
Chase for he's the only suitable person
4
in this
more
room for
years.
governor.
4 more years.
There is
4 more years.
they
4 more years.
Chase is the only governor I want.
Currently, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chief Justice, there's no literature in the Constitution that even puts forth any steps to fill that office.
Well, there
I
needs to
believe
be.
that I
Amen.
agree.
That's
I'm
why
kidding.
I
I'm
am
kidding. Okay, slow down. Calm down.
asking.
Calm down. Calm down. I don't want to get you guys excited. All right. There is, as the mayor just said, there is no wording for that. All right.
So, given that, that would have to be written out for there to be that election, in my opinion, in my understanding of what would need to happen and constitutionally for it to be sound. Can the council do that? Yes, they have the power to do that. They have the power to present a bill that would lay out those steps, and those steps would be followed once it passed judicial review, i.e., Vinny says okay.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah. And you say okay?
Yeah.
What
so
do you mean,
you
Benny? I say okay. Nobody's written anything. I'm not just
Well,
going to say
okay.
okay.
I mean, do I motion to move this forward or
No,
move it, or
Well, we
if-
didn't have to draft the legislation, right?
exactly. Yep.
okay?
Oh, God. I don't think there's really anybody suitable in this room to be governor. That's just my opinion, other than Chase, of course.
It's like
Maybe
children trying
Vinny.
to choose who their
I
parents
think
are.
Vinny would be
That's
a
all
good
it is.
governor. Vinny,
No,
Chase.
no. I do not want to
Banner's
be
too
on.
hot-headed. I'm just.
Okay.
Sorry,
All right.
don't think you-
I'm saying I feel like we just need more building blocks, order,
Ah.
and
3 brain
get
cells
things.
trying to
I don't know.
struggle for
As you
attention.
said, in the
Otherwise, we're just
campaign,
stuck
leadership.
here. Yeah, exactly.
We need progress. That's what we need.
Yes, progress,
Well-
and yeah, I guess want to see us like
don't-
take steps. That's it. That's it.
There's nobody
right.
really in this
So-
room allowed to make progress happen, though. That's.
If you like,
I mean, come
Yeah.
on. I mean, just
if you want to come up to
can.
the podium,
I mean, that's
please go
not
up to the
gonna
podium.
help
Jesus
things. Like, don't be
Christ.
so negative. I mean, it's not gonna help things. I mean, we're trying here. You know. I mean,
Welcome back.
So back to your point, if that's what you want to do, like the other council member said, start drafting up some legislation to present to the floor.
all right. That's all I have. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So, have all the council members spoken?
I haven't, but I don't have anything to add this week. Still trying to figure out Business Bureau stuff, so hope everyone
Right,
just
and
can
mine-
continue to be
mine-
patient with that.
Yeah. Mine was concentrating on Business Bureau as well. So, and I know that lies in other hands than ours. So,
Well, all right. Now that all the council members are done, we can open the floor up. We can talk about previous items of discussion now that we're actually through all the council members. So, anyone want to speak to any issues, including parking or anything like that? Now the floor is open up to those discussions again.
Did that guy think he was late to class? What was he? Where'd he go?
He forgot his textbook.
And this number 2 pencil.
So, no one has any other statements, questions, concerns? You came all this way, Vinny. You have something to say?
Are you challenging me? Is that what you're
No.
doing?
What?
Come on,
No,
Vinny.
I don't challenge you. I
Okay.
challenge the
Th-
Constitution.
I
and
will
then you
actually
tell me.
comment on one thing that Polly just said here, Miss Morris. Sorry, was
Thank
that
you.
there's a lot of things that are out of your hands as a city council, and I think a lot of people need to realize that and remember that there's a lot of things that are out of the hands of not only you folks sitting here as councilors, but also you folks sitting out here as well. There's only so much you can do, and the whole purpose of this whole thing is to work within the confines of, that we can. It's great to have dreams of trees made of cotton candy or whatever the fuck. Pardon my language, decorum.
That'd
I
be
understand,
nasty.
He said a
but
bad word.
it's great to have those thoughts and those happy thoughts and feelings. But sometimes this was where the chief dream crusher comes in and has to point out we can't have those things in reality. So we have to do with what we can. And again, some things are just not able to be done. And the sooner we all accept reality, the happier we will be. Thank
Well,
you.
I think
you
that's
feel
what we're
that you
trying to
crush
figure out.
dreams equally?
Absolutely. I crush all bad dreams that are bad. Just that's it. I don't care who's
Without
proposes it.
prejudice.
I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
respect that.
You
Yeah,
crush
I
dreams
don't.
according to the Constitution and the confines in which citizenry can operate within here.
100%. 100%. I don't know. I don't care where the bad dream comes from. I'm gonna crush it. You know what I mean? I'm fair
As
that
far
way.
as you're saying
Do you have a
that
list?
we
That was a good start.
well, I was waiting for whatever. As far as you're saying that we do not have power, I understand that. But if we get a new governor in place, would they be able to liaison between us and the federal government?
There absolutely needs to be some sort of liaison. However, keep in mind that the federal government has to be willing to listen.
I understand that. And
You know what I mean?
and
You get Margaret
yes,
Thatcher herself, the Iron
I
Lady.
know.
You get her here, right? And you say, listen, you need to go to the federal government and lobby these things that we want. We want a mall or whatever. I don't care. So you just say that we need these things. She has to go to the federal government and say, listen, these lovely people, they want a mall or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know what she sounds like. I never met the lady. I hope she's
Spot
nice.
on.
The point
It's
is,
close. It's close.
the point is, if the federal government ain't listening, what can you do?
So it really comes down to getting the federal government to listen. Is that right?
I would say it's a fairly fair assessment given the nature of things. Yes. So therefore,
Okay.
whenever there's something that you need from the federal government that we can somehow do ourselves, then we should probably try and figure out a way to do it ourselves. You know what I mean?
That's why it's open for discussion
Okay.
too.
Yep.
So, and to his point, what I've been saying to the other council members, or at least the ones that spoke about it, was the money that Danob is going to donate to the city or donate to a trust that he's going to let me run, could act as the BBB in relation to tills that are already established in the city.
Right.
That's something we could do in city here while we're working on that. And that'd be something we can do, but we can't fix the governor's position without writing legislation or having the government appoint their governor that is in the Constitution.
Right. Okay.
So
Right.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, Vinny.
Anything
Well,
else?
thank you for all your time.
Any other
Vinny.
dreams I can crush while I'm here?
Equally, evenly, and without prejudice.
No? Okay, that's
appreciate you,
unfortunate. I had
Vinny.
more. No, you don't. Lies.
I do.
He has more.
I wore a longer skirt just for you, Vinny.
And not a shorter one?
Not a shorter one.
Interesting. All right, moving on. Anybody else have any other questions, concerns, comments? See people standing up. Are you coming to the podium or? All right. Well, if there's no questions or concerns, we'll definitely meeting adjourned.
Gavel, gavel,
Thumbs
gavel.
up for
Yeah, but
America.
my
Thumbs up for America.
Sandman's is always open
Okay.
after the council
You and I need to talk.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Hello.
Yes.
How you doing, bud?
Hello. Doing all right. As good as one can be.
Yeah, it's one of those days.
Mm.
Okay, great. I mean, I'm pretty flexible on my time. I know you're a very busy man, but if you would like to write down my PO, you can let me know what your schedule is like, and we can arrange to sit down and do this little exit ritual.
Yeah. So, well, I can tell you my pretty definitively that the weekends are my best time, unless you're around in the evening.
Yeah, yeah. Evenings during the weekdays are fine, and